And we're back.
Back we are. Here we go. How are you doing?
I am well. How are you doing today, Nick?
I am doing very well.
Happy.
Today I wore a GW hat, George Washington University hat. My daughter sent it to me.
Oh, yeah.
So boom. I decided to wear it. I actually like the color. It's not a color I would myself go and get, but this looks great. So I'm gonna get more of it. Um, I guess it is the Good Friday, yeah, today.
Yeah,
So I think a lot of people might be taking the day off, etc. So, and also it's Easter weekend, so that's fun.
it is Easter
Um,
weekend.
I loved the Easter egg hunt when my kids were little. The highlight for me was once we were living in DC, and you can get tickets to go to the White House Easter egg roll. You know,
Okay.
so people queue up the couple days before. They come from all over the country and they line up. Now I didn't know this, so I went and stood in line at in the evening the night before, and it was actually nice and warm. But then in the middle of the night, it started snowing. I was freezing. I had no warm coat or anything like that, but I froze, and I did get my ticket. So I still remind my daughter that, hey, you got to go on the White House Easter egg roll because your dad froze at night. But that was a fun experience. I really liked it. All right, so we have a good show today, and we have some special guests also. So I'm
We have
excited about.
guests today.
Yeah. All right, I think we can get going. We can, unless you were not feeling well a little bit, right? Are you better now?
I'm better-ish. Yeah. It was a brutal like week and a half. Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
But I'm doing better now. My allergies are starting to kick in though, which is always fun.
Yeah, it's
Season.
it's been a wild week. I mean, but you know what? Every week is wild, so I don't know why I even say that anymore. Because, but yeah, got a lot of things done, and we are getting ready for NFT NYC. So there's a lot of prep for that. Um, I am taking a red eye on Sunday, so that's gonna be fun. I arrive it's like 6 a.m. in New York City, so that should be fun. Anyway, we'll see. All right, I think we can get going. Let me get my screen going here, and we can start.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, welcome to yet another Vitruveo download, where we review the events of the past week and tell you about what new and exciting things are coming up. This is season 2, episode 13. It is March 29, 2024. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder, and I'm really excited to have you here on this show. All right, let's get going. The first thing we always talk about is our protocol. Let's look at the stats for this week. So we had 22,321 wallets. So our wallets have been increasing due to our airdrop promotion. 2.6 million blocks mined. So that's good. Let's talk a little bit about a stress test that we did. So we wanted to make sure that the protocol works well under pressure, and also we wanted to make sure that the rebasing works flawlessly. So what we did is we did some synthetic transaction generation to do the stress test and also to trigger the rebase. So we did about 101,000 transactions in one epoch. So that's basically one day. And let's look at some of the results. So now next screen here might look at gobbledygook to you, but I'm gonna walk you through it. So what you see on the left is what we call the console. It's basically what the protocol, the blockchain, is outputting informational messages as we go along. And on the right, I had my MetaMask, and what I did is I put on testnet one test Vitru into it, and so the transactions were going through, and then when it came time for the epoch to change. Now let me talk a little bit about that. All right, so every block is approximately 5 seconds, and in 24 hours there are 1,007 there are 1,000 17,280 blocks. Sorry, So that's considered one epoch. So if you want to find out, for example, when something is vesting, that's a 30-day period. So you would multiply 17280 by 30 and then add it to the block that's there when your last vesting anniversary was, and you would find the next one. So it's a lot of math. But it's basic, multiplication and addition. But the key thing here is that rebases occur whenever the block numbers are evenly divisible by 17280. So every 17280 blocks, there's a potential for a rebase. And what the protocol does is it looks back at the last 17280 blocks, adds up all the transactions, and says, are there at least the number of transactions that are the target? Now, the target is always increasing. It started off at 10,000 at the Genesis block, and every epoch it increases by 500. So we were at 154, and I believe the target then was about 86,000. I might be off by a few. So what happened is that when we hit that that block, here's what happened. And I've highlighted the important things for you. So what happened there is that the rebase occurred. And if you look on the right, the balance in MetaMask automatically jumped up a little bit. Now remember, Vitruveo is the first and only protocol, to my knowledge, that has rebasing built into the protocol. Almost everyone else has rebasing built into a smart contract. But because it's built into the protocol, every client, whether it's a wallet, whether it's a smart contract, whether it's some API app, will automatically see an increase. So this is compound interest, right? So it's a tiny amount, but it jumps up right away. Now, so that's the two boxes at the top, but there's an additional box at the bottom. And if you look at it, it's highlighted. It says perks added to pool. So the rules are that there is a pool, actually there are several pool of coins called perks tokens for a lot of the OG holders, the validators, etc. And those perks stay in their pool and they vest over a 2-year period, but they don't become eligible for people to claim until there's a rebase. So every time there's a rebase, whatever is vested in the pool is actually brought out of the pool and put into a vault and then made available. So the box you're seeing on the bottom, it says perks added to pool. And that's because a rebase occurred. So basically our test was extremely successful. And we can say with a very high degree of confidence that as we hit our transaction milestones on mainnet, we should see the rebases go through with no problems at all. So that was our stress test on testnet, went well. And remember, compound interest means whatever you have, it compounds. So every time you have a rebase, there is a multiplicative effect, and that's really, really important. All right, continuing on, let's do a financial update. So there was an $8,500 multi-sig transaction. So that was for two things. First is, this is actually connected to the outage we had with Poet. So it turns out that we had some of our services, including some APIs, on our older. So we had an older AWS Amazon account that we had before we got a new one, because that's the one where we got a very large credit from Amazon, a credit grant essentially. But that account was running and we were not aware of it, and it was accumulating dues, and we had to pay that off. So we paid that off and we moved all the services to the Amazon credit now. So that was one thing. And then the Vitru Suite logo designs you saw last week, we paid for those. So those were the two items there. All right, now moving on to some app issues that were fixed. So Swapper had a couple of issues that cropped up for some users, and that was when they clicked seal the deal, it didn't actually work. That has been fixed. Also, they had issues with claiming a Nexus NFT. That has also been fixed. And the Poet login outage was about 4.5 hours, and that was due to the Amazon AWS issue I just talked about. But that has also been resolved. So those are the issues we fixed. Now, there is now one outstanding issue that we are still working on, and that is the Vitro stake unstaking thing. It is a little complex, but we are in the testing phase on that. We should have a resolution for you as quickly as possible. I can't give a firm time yet, but it's not going to be like a week. It's going to be a day or two at the most, maybe 3 at the most. Like let's say 3 days at the most. But we're very close to that. But it's certainly not going to go beyond that, and we'll get that resolved. All right, next up is CryptoLink. So today, what we want to do is talk a little bit about CryptoLink, and for that, we have some special guests here. We have the folks from CryptoLink, so I'm going to bring them online here, and I'm going to stop my screen sharing here, and let's bring up these fine folks. Here we go. All right.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you, Nick?
Very good. If you don't mind, please introduce yourselves.
Awesome. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
hi, everybody. I'm Cletus. I manage the operations at CryptoLink. We are a cross-chain interoperability protocol that facilitates cross-chain messaging between different smart contracts. So essentially what we do is we allow contracts to talk to each other on a chain-to-chain level. For me, at least, my background is semi-technical. I am in, I have my hands in several different functions per se for operations. So different day-to-day type stuff, partnerships, pursuits, collaborations, letting out the dogs, the whole 9 yards there. And Nick, I'm happy to be here. I believe our founder and CEO is also in this chat as well. I don't know if he's on the screen or not.
He was there. He just got disconnected. I actually, if you don't mind, just a second before we go into like what CryptoLink does and all that, I just wanted to get all of you guys just to say hello a little bit.
Okay.
So where are you based?
Yeah, I'm based in Michigan in the United States.
Great.
So it's getting warm here now.
Somewhere.
What's that?
So you're Zach's neighbor.
I am. Yes. Yeah. We are probably about maybe 30 minutes away from each other. So just right up the road.
All right. Okay. I see Atlas is back here now. So let's add him to the stage. Atlas, welcome. How are you? Let's see if he's got his audio going. We'll wait for him to get his audio going. All right. But meanwhile, tell us, how'd you get started? How did CryptoLink get started?
Yeah. So we got started about 2 to 2.5 years ago, and the whole motivation is the whole multi-chain type dilemma. We noticed that there was a problem for the overall space. There was way too much centralization. Bridging was such an overall hard task to do. I remember, and I'm sure your audience can remember, their first time sending transactions from chain to chain. At least for mine, it was Coinbase. I took Polygon, or I took Matic from the Ethereum blockchain. I tried to send it to my wallet, and it was on the Ethereum blockchain, but I wanted to buy something on Polygon, and it took about 40 minutes to be able to figure out that whole step. And we realized, hey, there's a problem here for just general cross-chain, how chains are so they're so segmented, they're not interconnected in any way. And we figured, okay, well, we need to solve this. And that's where Atlas had the motivation, the dream behind CryptoLink to decide, hey, well, we're going to solve this. We're going to build a protocol that can not only send assets cross-chain, but any sort of message, any sort of data cross-chain, and really redefine the space in that way.
Got it. So Atlas, are you here?
Yeah, sorry about
great.
that.
Please introduce yourself. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Great to be here. So yeah, I'm Atlas, like Cletus said, and we developed it exactly that to solve that problem. So with my background in engineering and in the technology field, I've been 2 decades in this, everything from engineering to security to DevOps to agile coaching, startups, et cetera, et cetera. So I was looking for something to do, and it presented an opportunity. I was actually, it was more of an obligation than an opportunity, because the space could not live in such a fragmented world, and we only had one alternative back then. So we had to do something, and now we've seen the space develop and mature. I still think we have the best solution. Of course, I'm biased. but I hope to show some of that to you today.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
so tell us about your solution. What is the architecture of it?
Yeah, so we do the same thing as any message provider has been doing today. We do things a little bit differently though. So we can do everything, but a fundamental difference is our philosophy to stay decentralized into the true spirit of blockchain. So we have a unique security model where we push out that trust, where projects themselves, chains themselves, have a veto layer on all cross-chain messaging. So that allows us to again not have centralized parties or single points of trust, which is again against the whole philosophy of blockchain. And we also work on a very low level with developers. So we literally enable contract to contract messaging. That's it. So we don't force developers to do certain things in certain ways or make things complex. We integrate just as easy as Open Zeppelin for any developers out in your audience. We have NPM packages that make it very easy with a couple lines of code to make anything cross-chain. So you worry about your protocol and how it works and what you are building, and you just let us worry about having those contracts talk across chain, just like developing on the internet today. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I must say, I actually did implement your solution and worked with transferring tokens, etc. It is incredibly easy to use. It just kind of works, So kudos to you on that, on a well-engineered solution. So today I want to talk to you about three things. The first one I think is kind of very significant for our community members because it involves a stablecoin. So let's talk about how CryptoLink is going to help Vitruveo users have access to the stablecoin by Circle called USDC. So could either of you fill us in on that?
Atlas, I'll let you go ahead and start, and then I can then wrap it up towards the end there. If you want to take this one.
Sure, absolutely. I'll probably look at it more from the technical viewpoint, and Cletus will then take it from the what it actually means for the users. But what the program is we have a system that was developed by the Circle Foundation in order to facilitate their stablecoin USDC to be on more chains. So right now you can only find the official USDC on the major chains, Polygon, Avalanche, AVAX, but some of even Phantom does not have a real USDC. So what Circle did is they identified the dangers of chains doing it themselves and trying to wrap some sort of new stable coin in that initiation of a new chain. And they offered a pathway to a real USDC integration. So that's what we offer. We integrated all of those contracts that they wrote with our messaging system, which allows you to have a one-to-one backed USDC from a chain that supports the real official fully adopted USDC. And depending on the usage of the stablecoin on your chain, you have a pathway for Circle to then take control of that, and it becomes the real USDC. So if you were to do it yourself and just wrap your own stablecoin, even if it's one-to-one backed, you still would not have that path for it to become the real USDC. And what that enables then is to be hooked up with their CCIP and all of their transfers and the entire ecosystem. So it really is something that's unique. And I think at this point, we're still the only ones offering it. And we're happy to offer it to you guys as well.
Got it. So step one is integrate with CryptoLink's messaging. And over time, as the volume increases, then it becomes native USDC.
Well, it doesn't become automatically. It's still at Circle's discretion. So they have the opportunity to take it over if they wish.
Yeah, and that's something that CryptoLink, we have a working relationship with Circle where we introduce your chain with them. Once you guys are ready to make that upgrade from your the pathway, the precursor USDC to circled CCTP USDC, we can facilitate that the entire way through and be able to get that onto your chain. So you have that true path to be able to bring really what it is bringing that liquidity to your chain and providing users to be able to not only just bring USDC, but an official circle-backed USDC to your chain and be able to interact with it, use it for dApps, use it to be able to spend on NFT contracts, to be able to stake it in pools and do any sort of general DeFi with that. It works the same exact way. And since it's backed one-to-one, whenever someone bridges it back, you get the normal USDC on that original side.
Got it. So we were struggling a little bit with the decision on whether to go with Ethereum or Polygon on the other end. And ultimately, we made the decision to go with Polygon for now, just because the gas costs are outrageous. And we might transition over to Ethereum at some point, or leave that undecided for right now. So with that decision made, what's our timeline to get USDC on Vitruveo?
Yeah, it's a really very, very short. We are the contracts are deployed on testnet, and they've undergone end-to-end testing on the CryptoLink side. Everything is all good. The green light's there from us. So now it's just the end-to-end testing on the Vitruveo side to make sure that that's all good input. And then once a front end, so a nice UI is put up there for your community, everything will be ready for them to be able to then start onboarding themselves with USDC onto Vitruveo.
All right, great. So to me, that sounds like within a couple of weeks, we could potentially have it live, which means on our decks, then we could be having a USDC. It would be a USDC dot. You told me this, a POL, right?
Yeah. So Circle has their own naming conventions for how they decide to name their USDC. Their bridged USDC standard is what it's called, and it all depends on what chain it's from. So if that native USDC is coming from Polygon, it'd be USDC.POL. If it was coming from Ethereum, it'd be USDC.E. Likewise, for example, if it was coming from Solana, it'd be USDC.SOL. So it's all just that suffix that they add onto there. So in your blockchain explorer, or once it's deployed on the DEX and people are trading it, for this case, because it's Polygon, it will be USDC.POL. And that's a good way to remind everybody as to, okay, well, it's that USDC is locked on Polygon. That's where it came from. And when it gets to be bridged back from Vitruveo, that's where it's going to go, is Polygon.
Got it. Fantastic. Love it. So while I'm talking to you guys in the audience, if you have questions for CryptoLink, please do post them. We'll do a little quick AMA with them when we are done with some of the demos here. All right. So the next thing I think I'd like to talk about is the movement of tokens. So we are not quite ready yet because we don't have our strategy figured out on how exactly to handle the fact that some of the NFTs that exist on other chains, they would work fine on here, but we have a consignment model, whereas they have a mint first model. So we got to come to terms with that. But regardless, I'd love to see how that works. So Atlas, as I understand it, you have a demo for us?
Yeah, I do. This is more on a developer level, so it may not be
that's
applicable.
fine. We are a protocol. There's developers in the audience also, and so we cover everything in here. So it's okay. So let me get your terminal on here. All right. So this is more intended for developers. So tell us what we are seeing here.
If I could hop in really quickly to give an introduction here. So what Atlas is going to be showing is one of the possible examples as to what is possible with CryptoLink technology. So because we provide general an omnichain layer for anyone to be able to build on top of, it's not only restricted to only tokens being sent cross-chain. It's general cross-chain messaging. So any sort of data can be sent cross-chain, whether that's tokens, NFTs, different types of contracts. So if someone says a hello world and they want to send that from chain to chain, staking, lending, really it involves every sort of aspect of DeFi can now have that cross-chain communication. And what Atlas is going to show is an example of a cross-chain NFT. So it's the Hello ERC 721 example. This can be found in our GitHub or on our developer page, where it walks developers through the process for how to do this. And actually, coming up here soon, we're going to have a no-code tool so that other people that are non-developers, like me, for example, can go through here and do this without having to utilize a terminal or any of that. So with that, Atlas, I'll let you go ahead. I just wanted to give that overview background.
Yep, perfect. So like we were talking about earlier, it's very easy to use cross-chain messaging. We make it very easy so you can just concentrate on what it is that you're developing and let us handle the rest. So with this Hello example that we have, I'll actually show you the code first before I get into the deploy steps. And hopefully this is large enough on your screen to see. Developers here will recognize immediately we're using Open Zeppelin for this example. So it's a standard ERC 721 NFT. The only difference here is we now also installed the CryptoLink package and we're including the message client. So our NFT is just, again, extending the ERC 721 from Open Zeppelin and extending the message client from us, CryptoLink. Everything is a basic NFT contract, so minting and everything. The only thing that is unique that enables it to be cross-chain native, so it is its own bridge. It's bridgeless. It doesn't need an external bridge because you just add this bridge function in the NFT, which burns the NFT from this source chain and sends the message to the destination chain to mint it to the recipient that burnt it and the NFT ID that was burnt. So this is the guts of bridging a native NFT. On the receiving end, it's a generic message process function. That's what receives this send message from the origin chain. This is what receives it on the destination chain. So we decode the data that we encoded here. So it's just encode what you want. This can be anything you want. And again, you just decode it with the same structure. And we mint the NFT to the recipient. So that's it. There's no extra complexity. So we really try to make it very simple. So I would recommend anybody that wants to try this out, they could do it very easily. So developer.cryptolink.tech. You can see our ERC20 example, 721, and just a fun hop, which I'll leave it to your viewers to discover if they wish, if they're curious. But so for these examples, you don't even need to be a developer if you're just willing to spend a little bit of time. I'm sure you can try this out yourself on Windows or even if you're running Mac. So you just need to install npm, install Git. You need to get yourself some testnet tokens, and then you're ready to go. So I already have this cloned out. This comes right from our GitHub repository. And that's what you see over here. So this is our Hello ERC 721 example. So I will pull up the command line here larger so we can see that. And what we basically do is do the npm install for all of the packages. Like I said, the Open Zeppelin, the CryptoLink packages, those will all be imported there. Perfect. And then we just deploy. So we will actually use the Phantom, the Polygon testnet instead of the Phantom testnet, since your USDC is going to be on Polygon. Okay, that's deploying. So we're using hard hat deploy here, which creates a new directory with all of the deployment objects and the deployed contract address, etc. So that address matches that. Okay, we're deployed on Polygon. And then we can deploy on Vitruveo testnet too.
It's with an eye.
Sorry.
It's a
Do I have that
VEO
added?
at the end. VEO. Yeah.
Okay, so it should be deploying there. Perfect. Okay, so we now have it deployed on 2 testnets. The next step would be the configuration. So we have it on the Vitruveo and the Polygon. And we see networks testnet. So I'm going to change this to Vitruveo and Polygon. And then we just run the configures. So let's first configure it on Polygon. And what this configure does, this is part of the NPM package. It's some of the complexity that we take out of development. What the basic configuration does is allows all of these contracts that you deploy to make them aware of each other on the other chains. So that sets up the permissions and access, etc. So you don't have to write custom logic for that. Okay, so we configured the Vitruveo side.
So far, this seems pretty straightforward and easy.
That's what we try to do. Absolutely. So like I said, you don't really have to be a developer to launch your own token. And then if you want to dabble, you can then, of course, extend from there. But to get started, I think any of your viewers could follow through. So what we're doing right now is we're minting an NFT. So this would then be done on your DApp on the front end. But
Okay,
for these
hang on one
examples,
second, Atlas. So you just called some pre-existing code you have that minted an NFT on a contract that you just deployed, the contract code you showed us earlier, right?
correct. And
Is that right?
and that's
Okay,
this right here.
Got-
It's
got
it's just a command that runs the mint function, and this would be on the front end if
Okay.
projects
So we would have a
integrating. So this
UI
would be
for
your-
that, where a user would be able to go mint that, and that's the command you just did, and now you have that minted. Is there any way, can we go to the Explorer and see that transaction?
Yeah, we can. So let's pull that up on the Polygon Explorer.
And to jump in here a little bit, when we say that everyone from the team has deployed it, we are serious that everyone from the team has deployed it. Where our marketing guy, he's quoted the term, "It's so easy the marketing guy can do it."
All right, there we go. I see the mint.
So there you go. Yep, there it is.
Perfect. All right, great. And so now we are what we are going to do is we are going to move that over to the Vitruveo testnet, right?
Correct.
That
Yep.
token.
So we'll
All
see
right.
it here. We'll just copy the token
All right,
ID there.
straight from
Actually,
Polygon to Vitruveo. Nice, I love it.
all right. So, well, first there is a command here to just print the details command line so that you can make sure that it is here.
Okay.
So I'll just run that quick. So yeah, that shows the metadata that's generated and the owner.
Got it.
And it is on the Polygon testnet.
Yeah, most users are used to seeing a pretty picture in their browser and don't see this, but that's basically what is behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the view from the matrix, if you will.
I like that.
So yeah, and now we need to put in the chain ID for the testnet for Vitruveo. There
Now
we go.
it knows where to go because you earlier deployed the same contract on Vitruveo testnet. Is that right?
Exactly. It's sending it to itself on Vitruveo.
Got
And
it.
since itself has the message process.
Okay.
This is where it will be delivered. And here's the access modifier. And all of this is abstracted from you. So you can check it out if you want to audit it or see how it works or even tweak it. But we see that this works pretty well. So yeah, it knows about itself. You don't need to worry about that.
Got it.
So
All right.
let's go ahead.
Here we go. Exciting. So now you're transferring it from Polygon to Vitruveo testnet.
And we're doing it live. So cross your
Woohoo!
fingers.
I love it.
Yeah.
Bam. Done.
Okay. Well, that is the
Nice.
request. So it'll take, I think it's set up for 3 or 4 confirmations. So depending on the Polygon, but yeah, so we can pull up the Vitruveo testnet explorer.
It's test-explorer.
Vitruveo scan. This one?
There we go. Yep.
Perfect.
That's it.
And let's get the contract, the owner here. Yeah, let's see if it is there. Drum roll.
There it is. They have some suspense music in the background.
And
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. That's it, right?
Let's click on it and see.
Oh, yeah. Token minting. I see it.
Yep, there we go. I'm
go.
looking for
All right.
the logs on the Explorer. There we go. There we go.
Beautiful.
Yep,
Love it.
perfect. Yep.
There we go. So,
8001.
so what is the status on Polygon now?
Polygon should be gone.
Ah. So
It's bridged out.
It's bridged out. Got it. Okay. So that token no longer exists on Polygon and is now securely on Vitruveo. Brilliant. I love it. Thank you,
Exactly.
Atlas. All right, cool. So maybe next week I can do a similar demo, but with a UI, like move a token over. Love to do that. Okay. This
that
gives
would be
me something
amazing.
to do. Fantastic. Thank you for that. All right. Let's continue now and talk about a couple of other topics. So while you have your browser there, we can probably use it for the next topic. I want to understand better your any-to-any product and what it means for us. So could you show that, Atlas? So what are we looking at here? What does it do?
Yeah, so we are currently looking at any-to-any.io. This is a cross-chain swap that users can be able to swap really any token on one blockchain to any token on another blockchain. It's currently deployed on about 9 different networks, 10 different networks. And essentially what really the main forte in any-to-any is that if you need to get funds somewhere fast, you can be able to do so with the any-to-any token swap. So if you wanted to have a quick transfer from BNB, you got some BNB laying around and you want to get into a project on Vitruveo, or you wanted to swap directly to the Vitruveo token, you can directly do that with any-to-any. So it really kind of just breaks down those barriers for people so that they don't need to be able to have to go and seek out a bridge and then find another DEX and do that swap. It all happens at the speed of the blockchain itself, where you can just make a quick swap and boom, it's right there in your MetaMask quicker than you can go ahead and swap chains in your MetaMask.
Cool. So what are the requirements? What do we have to do on Vitruveo to make this happen?
Yeah. So in order to get any-to-any on Vitruveo, we have a validator structure. It's part of an upgrade to the general CryptoLink infrastructure that is already deployed on your chain. So all of the stuff that Atlas talked about, the Hello ERC 721 example, any other sort of contract interactions, anything that a developer can really dream of, that they can build right now on Vitruveo and have that be any sort of messaging from Vitruveo elsewhere or from elsewhere into Vitruveo. So that's live right now, and that could be anything. Where any-to-any comes in is once we go through this, it's called the proof of liquidity validator upgrade. This is an opportunity for not only the community, but for potential validators themselves to be able to earn additional revenue from all of the cross-chain transfers that are originating from Vitruveo. And the way that it works is that 20% of all of the messaging fees that CryptoLink takes, we give those directly right back to the validators. So 20% of that goes to the validators themselves, and any comes along with that. So for validators to get set up, they stake, they put up some cross-chain liquidity, and that cross-chain liquidity is then coupled with how everything works, is that any can now be deployed and then used to be able to facilitate those token transfers into and out of your chain.
Got it. Sounds like I need to set up a meeting with our validators and discuss this option with them. I'm sure they would love the opportunity to have additional revenue. So this is
it's a way that they can support the infrastructure, and it's a way that they can also grow with the Vitruveo ecosystem. So as Vitruveo grows and as there's more and more connections get put into place, more and more artists, developers, anyone who is transferring and sending cross-chain messages into and out of Vitruveo, the validators for this overall network, they're supporting it, but they're also earning from it too.
Got it. Yeah, this sounds great. What is the timeline to get any-to-any? And I'm presuming we'll be able to white label, like brand it as a Vitruveo thing. What is the timeline for it?
Yeah. I'd say probably a few weeks. Once we have 3 validators, that's the minimum that we can go ahead and get started. So once we have those 3, then that starts the process on our end for white labeling everything on any, getting your token set up, integrating it with your DEX, with all the other tokens that you want to have white labeled from your DEX onto any. And yeah, I'd say about like 3 to 4 weeks or so, and that can then be rolling. So
that's great. And what is the requirement for validators, and what's the maximum number you can have?
The requirement for validators, the way that we do it is in a tiered structure. So the first validators get in for cheaper, and the reason why is because the first people who come and get the pie, they can get, they get first dibs on the pie. Yeah. We require 3 validators to get started, and they stake in Paper native LP, where native is the blockchain native gas coin on the chain that they're validating. So Paper is CryptoLink's token. It's one of CryptoLink's tokens. That's our main bridging token for any-to-any, and really it's the main liquidity stake token for our validator system. And then the blockchain native gas coin is, in this case, it would be the native gas coin on Vitruveo. So your Vitruveo token. That would then be paired together, and once that's paired, that would then be put into a validator staking pool, where that is then locked, and then the validators would then be able to then start earning from all of the cross-chain transfers that would be in place. So once we have 3, awesome, we can get started, but more can come after that as well.
Got it. All right. Well, we'll talk to our validators and see what comes out of this, because it seems like a very interesting addition to our DEX here to enable people to do that freely across all chains. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for showing how CryptoLink works. And like I said, I'm going to attempt to next week do this live with a UI and actually move tokens across chains. So this is fantastic, and it's now on testnet. and we'll also get it live on mainnet after we test and make this happen. So thanks
Perfect.
again. Appreciate your hopping on here, and we'll see you again another time.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Nick. And
Yeah,
I don't know
one
if
second.
Atlas
You
is-
know what? Maybe there's some questions. Let me
Okay. Yeah.
let me
Let's take some questions.
check and see if there's any questions here before I let you go. Well, here's a question.
Okay.
Why CryptoLink and not Chainlink? I guess they're asking me this, but I think you might be better to answer it. Like, differentiate yourself from Chainlink.
Yeah. So there's several reasons why. Atlas, it looks like you unmuted. If you want to take this one, otherwise I'd be happy to take it.
So we do basically the same as everybody else does. We just do it in a different way. So we try to decentralize it, and we're also different in a few other ways. We're everywhere, so we are on more chains. If you take a look at the documentation right now, you can see. I don't even know what we're up to now, but it's 60 plus total, including Solana. Cardano's coming out soon. So it is our mission to go everywhere. With the V3 that we have, we're in a unique position to do that. We don't use any back-end chain or any centralization that adds latency or complexity to the system. So we really run at the speed of the blockchains and provide a base primitive for people to build on top. We don't try to solve problems for, say, oracles or price feeds or randomization, but we easily allow developers to have their own cross-chain if they wish to develop that.
Yeah, I mean, that was my understanding. Also, Chainlink is primarily about the Oracle services, whereas this is about messaging. So it's a whole different problem domain. So yeah, I don't see any other questions. I think all the validators are getting excited about it, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how to implement that, etc. Let me see if there's any more questions for you. No, it doesn't look like it. So thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you again here sometime. All right.
Thanks so much for having us, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, let us continue. That was very exciting. I'm really excited about CryptoLink because it allows us to create really a wide variety of different products, that enable people who are on other chains, who have assets on other chains, to bring them over to Vitruveo in a very secure manner. So, all right, now moving on, let's talk about our user acquisition campaign. As you know, that has been at the forefront here. We've been working on that pretty hard. So this past few days, you might have noticed a bit of an increase in the traffic. Well, there's a reason for that. So we have enabled mobile support now. So it used to work fine on Android. That hasn't changed, but we have now enabled iOS support, with the caveat that we prefer people use the browser that's built into the MetaMask app because it works best there. And part of the reason for that is because of the tasks involved. It's not, the app by itself is pretty straightforward, but the tasks that involve connecting to Discord and then verifying with your X account, etc., those don't work too well with iOS when you're swapping in and out. And so that was the reason for having to change things around a little bit. All right. So the other thing is we now have significantly increased activity from some top Web3 users. So let's take a look at it live here. So yeah, I mean, I've been seeing lots of activity here. The leaderboard is humming. We've seen lots of activity there. People really going at it. So love it, and we expect to see more and more people. If you are watching this either live or later and from the video, and you haven't yet joined the airdrop, here's the link. It's airdrop.vitruveo.xyz. Please do join. We would love to have you in our community. All right, so moving back to our presentation here. All right, let's look at some of the numbers that have changed. So now we have 6,800 and change airdrop users. So that's a significant number. We have 16.9K followers on X, our Discord community is growing to has grown to 11.4K, and our TVL is now at $39.2 million. I expect that to increase significantly this weekend because I've been noting that on the weekend the activity level goes way up, and we are now at over 22K wallets. So that's fantastic. All right, continuing on. Let's go here and talk a little bit about the Wrap Vitru. I think it was last download, or was it one download ago? Someone says, hey, can you present at the download how we are doing in terms of achieving those last 3 of the 8 goals that are set out for Wrap Vitru to be listed on a centralized exchange? So I'll give updates on liquidity and tier 1 as we feel like we have meaningful enough information to share with you. There is information, but I feel like I want to present it at the right time. But let's focus right now on momentum and traction. So as you can see right now, from the numbers, we've got significant number of users. But what we are trying to do is get Vitruveo ready for a tier 1 exchange. And that means we have to significantly increase the number of users. By my estimates, we are at about 20 to 25% of the way there, closer to 20%, and we'll be moving up. So once those numbers start to move up, other things also start to increase. The transactions start to increase, the number of applications in the ecosystem start to increase, and overall that represents the momentum and traction. So you'll be surprised how fast things can move in this space. You already know that, but I'm talking about specifically in the Vitruveo ecosystem space. We have a lot of things queued up, and you should be seeing things, and you are already seeing things on a week-by-week basis. We have new things releasing. Today we talked about CryptoLink, and next week we'll see more action on that front. We have the Honcho Marketplace coming up. We've got Studio, we've got Search, we've got so much lined up, and it's almost like every week there's going to be, a couple of new things to share, and all of that in aggregate creates momentum, and that's what and momentum creates more momentum. And so we are on the fast track, we are on the accelerating. So I expect these numbers to grow very, very fast, and for us to hit our goals very, very fast. All right, moving right along. Let's continue to the next slide here. Let's talk about airdrops. So we have the airdrop campaign going on. That's a user acquisition campaign. It's going quite well, and I appreciate everyone in the community helping out. But what I'm talking about here is airdrops coming to you. So first and foremost, this week we upgraded the scope application, so you could boost multiple boosters simultaneously and go beyond the 25 booster threshold. So that's done. We also published a sheet showing the early bird numbers. So the list of all the early birds. So there's about 10 entries in there that we are reconciling right now. Once we are done reconciling those and figuring out exactly what their actual data should be, we are ready to do the early bird airdrop. So this is for the super early birds, actually, where they're all going to get some Vitru tokens. We'll get that going. So that is coming up. There are 2 other airdrops we are working on, which is the collector credits and the creator credit. So the collector credits is a straightforward airdrop where each account that purchased a booster, based on the number of boosters they purchased, are going to get 10 of these collector credit NFTs per booster purchased. So if you purchased 5 boosters, you're going to get 50 of these. Now, I've had this question repeatedly, so I just want to make it clear. The account with which you purchased the booster is going to get the collector credits, and then you're free to move them around however you want. You're free to transfer them wherever you want, but we are not going to airdrop these to the accounts that you boosted, right? Because we're gonna this credit is for the account that purchased the boosters, and so that's what's going to happen. Now, keep in mind, these collector credits are going to be staggered. So we're going to make an effort to make sure that every booster gets a a set that is activated at the same time. But if you have multiple boosters, there isn't a guarantee that they will all be at the same time. So we want to stagger them so we don't have that many collector credits active at the exact same time. So they're staggered over a period of 90 days. So in other words, you might get collector credits that are activated on April 1. You might get ones that are activated on May 1 and on June 1, and that's it. So those are the 3 dates. So it will be April, May, or June 1, based on the block number, not the exact calendar date. And so you would be able to start using them. And we'll make sure that folks with multiple boosters have a good spread, so that they can use their boosters right away as the artworks come up, but they can continue to use them over the next 90 days. Now, in terms of creator credit, it's not going to be an airdrop, but within the Studio application, we have built a feature where you just click a button to request one, and it has some heuristics, some intelligence. It makes a decision on and drops one in there. So right now there's Genesis artists, there's 1,000 of them. So they click a button and they instantly get one. There's not much debate or much decision making involved in that. So that is how collector credit and creator credit airdrops are going to work. All right, moving right along, let's talk about Scope. So as I mentioned, when we launched Scope, we are very committed to making it sort of the centerpiece of your Vitruveo asset existence. And gradually, every week, we add more and more features to it. And over time, it becomes, this hub, if you will. So the feature that is coming up is NFT View. So you've already seen that link for that in the sidebar. What you'll be able to do very soon is view all the NFTs in your account. Right now, I know it's very challenging for you to have to go into your wallet and add the contract and import an NFT, etc. It's very cumbersome and not the way to do it. We want to make it super easy. So with NFT View, you can view all the NFTs in your account. In addition, you can transfer an NFT to any account you wish. So make it super simple to do that. Just enter the address and boom, you can hit submit and it'll be done. But the other thing we want to do is we don't have a full-fledged sort of NFT marketplace yet. But in the interim, what we want to do is encourage and make it easy for people to swap, because there's a lot of people who want to swap, for example, their booster artworks. So you can easily, with NFT View, swap an NFT with another user. The way it works is user A deposits NFT 1 and targets the recipient and says, this is for recipient user B. User B can then also deposit an NFT and target it for user A. User A can then claim the NFT deposited for them by user B, and vice versa for user B. So it's basically a swap, but it's done with the contract acting as the mediator, so you don't have to worry about trusting anybody. That's the thing about blockchain. It's about trustlessness, right? So if either user revokes or changes their mind, so if user A changes their mind before, then both the deposits are revoked. But once one has initiated, both are locked and the transaction has to move forward. So that is coming up with NFT View this week. So you're going to see that this week and be able to swap. So this goes for any NFT you own. If it's a booster, if it's a Nexus, any of that. Now keep in mind that there are certain core NFTs that are not transferable. Validators are right now the primary ones. But if you have a Nexus, if you have a Maxim, if you have a Dreamer NFT, you can move it to any wallet you wish, and you can swap with any user you wish. The one and most important thing to remember is when you transfer your core NFT to another account, all future benefits, it doesn't matter what the benefit is, all future benefits accrue to the account that is in possession. So the moment you give up possession of your core NFT, you are done. That account, the sending account, now has nothing, has no benefits due to it. The only exception is the initial fulfillment for some of the booster perks. I shouldn't say the word perks, the booster benefits. Like, for example, I just mentioned earlier, the collector credits, etc. That is the only change. But core NFTs are special in that the benefits of them move around according to the account they have. The reason that validator NFTs are not portable is because validators have KYC, and you can't port your KYC to someone else's KYC. So with validators, we will have a burn feature. They can be burned, and then a new one would be minted if a validator were to be swapped. So for right now, we are handling any swaps, etc., between validators manually. But once the KYCs are done, it's going to get the bar is going to be a little higher, because validators secure the network, and we want to make sure that we have the right people owning those NFTs. All right. So I see a question here from JW. Will the booster revenue follow the location of the physical? As I said, everything always follows the NFT. That's the reason it's an NFT. It's because you can move it around. You can take it to any account you want, etc. So that's that. Let's see here. If we sell or transfer the booster NFT after it has been boosted, does that include the rev share, or is that linked to the boosted wallet address? Yep. So it goes with the NFT. The NFT, like when in doubt, just answer the question with the NFT, right? The account is just the holder. So whoever is holding the NFT at any given time gets the benefits. So for example, let's say that you've got a core NFT, and this week probably this week you claimed some of the vested coins, and then you transferred your Nexus NFT to someone else. Well, next month you get nothing. The person who you transferred it to, they can claim, and the coins go into their account. So remember, the NFT is the key to claiming all benefits. Let's see. Any other questions? Let's see here. Can I currently send my validator NFT to my new ledger if I didn't do my KYC yet? Yep. Yeah. And NFT is just a token. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You said validator NFT. Validator NFT is not transferable. So I'm glad I remembered. Yeah. Validator NFT is the only one that's unique, and it's not transferable. So every other core NFT is transferable. So no, you would not be able to do that. Now, we will eventually have a process to revoke a validator NFT. It's just essentially burn it and mint a new one. But when that happens, we'd have to decide if the KYC transfers over or not. In most cases, it will not, because that would defeat the purpose of the KYC. All right, so I think that's good. I'll answer more of the questions later. Let me get through some of the other material here. All right, let's talk a little bit about Vitruveo Suite now. Last week, Rio was on here, and we saw some of the marketing work around these logos. I'm very pleased to report here that the two of these products are now actively getting to the point of release. Well, one is already released studio, but search is also very, very advanced state right now, and we are really excited to be able to share with you. All right, so with Studio Update, we had two phases. So for the 1,000 Genesis artists, we had them onboard their work. Now the phase 2 development work is wrapping up, and consigned artworks are soon going to be signed and searchable. So with Vitruveo Search, you'll be able to search them. Folks, next week, we'll be doing a demo here of Vitruveo Search. And I look at it now in development, and my mind was blown. And I really felt, that heady feeling when you're seeing a product for the first time and it's going to change the world completely. I see Vitruveo Search, and I think about the innovation that it's bringing to the whole Web3 ecosystem. I tweeted about this, but I also want to talk about it. I think about 1896, when the primary form of transportation for people was the horse carriage, right? And then Ford comes along with his car, and it basically renders all the innovation that was going on. So the innovation was better wheels, lighter carriage, faster horse, things like that. But all of that becomes irrelevant with the introduction of the automobile. And I feel like with Web3, especially with NFTs, that's exactly where we are. If you look at the marketplaces on Ethereum, on Tezos, on Solana, etc., they have incremental features they're adding, but they are forever constrained by the protocol they're on, by the gas fees, etc. They can never do anything across the entire protocol. They have their own silo. Whereas on Vitruveo, we are a protocol, right? So all the assets are protocol wide, and we can have a search that searches the entire protocol. So it's like Google searching the entire web versus having a search engine that only searches a limited number of sites or something like that. So that's the analogy. And so I'm really excited about this that's coming up. And just seeing some of these features is exciting. So what I want to do is I want to show you the wireframes that we have going for search to show you what you can expect to see next week. All right. So these are real rough, but basically the UI you're going to see is, as I've hinted before, very familiar when you go to like airline search sites or real estate search sites. There are facets on the left, and then there are results here. So the way the search works is you see these results, you see the tiled results, you click on it, it slides out, and you can see the details. So that's the basic search. But here's where the unlock happens. Now, keep in mind that the search is across all assets on the chain, right? It's not a marketplace, it's all assets, right? So now let's look at this little feature you see up there called Curate Stack. So what that does is it instantly enables all the results to have checkboxes. And what you can do is you can keep searching, multiple searches, 1 search, 2 searches, 3 searches. And as you go and as you see things you like, you check them almost like a shopping cart. What we are calling that is a stack. So you collect them in a stack, and you have this panel on the right that starts accumulating all the artworks that you've selected. And again, that's multiple searches. It's not one search. So you can go and search for something, change the requirements, search again, and check as much as you want. And once that is all done, and you've got that, and you hit the publish stack button, that's where we got some exciting things coming up. So what happens then is you get a destination dropdown, and for each destination you have options, and you can publish. So here are the destination options where we have cooked up right now. There's going to be an infinite number of them, and not all of these will be available right away, just to set some expectations. But you'll be able to create an image grid, kind of like you see on Instagram, etc., where you have a grid with lots of images. You'll be able to create one like that. You'll be able to create an interactive gallery where you can navigate those artworks back and forth, see them, zoom in, etc. You can create a video gallery of them. So you can create one MP4 file from all the results you've selected. They go. You can create a PDF. You can create an RSS feed. You can create a Twitter or X thread. You can integrate with Zapier and then have it enabled for 6,000 applications. So the thing we are doing here with Publish is essentially giving people, curators, 2 features. One, the ability to publish a catalog of artworks, each of them with a buy button or a QR code that people can click or scan. And for the curator, for their work they did in curating this and publishing it, they make money. They can specify what the upsell is. And so whenever someone buys something from something you published, you make money. So in effect, we make every person on the planet, anyone who's using Vitru Search, the ability to earn money as a distributor, as a salesperson, if you will. You can go curate something and then share it with your audience. And if any of them buys, you make money, all the creators make money, and the end users get amazing artwork. So we are creating the world's largest and most widest sort of artwork distribution system that is going to change the economics of this space completely. So super, super excited about this. And you will see the first blush of this next week. So we are pushing hard to get it ready for NFT NYC that's coming up. And our developers are not very happy about that because they lose sleep. But it's great. We want to see this in action. It's fantastic. All right. Now I want to remind you about NFT NYC. If you're one of those 1,000 artists we are onboarding, you need to hustle and get your artwork into Studio, because we are in the process of selecting the artworks we are going to show at NFT NYC. We have multiple events coming up there. So it's very important for you to get your artworks in as quickly as possible. And I'm saying in the next couple days, please do that. So we have 3 events scheduled here at NFT NYC. We have Crypto Mondays event. That's on April 1st from 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We have Nocha shows on April 3rd from 5 to 11 p.m. At both these locations, we're going to have a nice display screen. We're going to be able to show your thing. And then we also have an artist meetup on April 4th from 7 to 10 p.m. So if you want your artwork to be highlighted and promoted at NFT NYC, get into Studio and finish consigning your artwork. And I understand you can only do phase 1. That's all you need to do right now. Just get it done. So now here comes the best part. We see NFT NYC as a big opportunity. There's a lot of crypto influencers there, a lot of people who are movers and shakers in the world of creators, NFT, art, etc. And so what we are doing is twofold. We want to promote our artists, but we also want to promote Vitruveo. It's a new chain, and we have a great airdrop going on right now. So we want to promote that also. So we put our minds to work, and we came up with this idea. We are going to have a mobile gallery in New York City. So this is for about 8 hours on one day. There's going to be a truck going around Times Square, around the Javits Center, etc., that is going to sport Vitruveo artwork, Vitruveo information, and on the back, Vitruveo airdrop QR code. So people who are there at the conference can, well, I mean, most of the people go from between different venues, because the venues are, the events are all scattered around. So for one day, it is going to be Vitruveo in New York City. It's going to be all the artworks from the Genesis artworks that we select. And again, I just want to repeat, we want to make sure that you put your best artwork in there, because we are going to select the best artworks to showcase. And yeah, this is, I think, going to be a really, really good promotion for Vitruveo and for the airdrop and for the artists. We're really excited about that. All right, next up is participation. So we have all these events, and we would like to make sure that if you're in New York City, that you join us. So please do fill out this form and let us know, so we can be in touch with you about timings and places and all of that kind of stuff. So super excited to meet with you in person. I'm going to be there. Fer's going to be there. Just really excited to meet with you. All right, and I think that is it for today. Here is today's poet. If you're watching this live, please go and claim your poet. We are getting close to the end of season 2, and that's when we'll start announcing the awards for this season. If you're watching this on video, if it's within 24 hours of the live broadcast, then you can still claim your poet. But after that, the poet will stop working. So please do claim that, and look forward to seeing the folks who have the full series when the season concludes here very, very soon. All right, so that is our information for today. Zach, if you're around, please come up.
I am here.
All right, great. Let's take some questions here.
Cool. Yeah.
But before that, a sip of chai.
Okay. All right. Any updates on stake acceleration? Will it be calculated to our vesting acceleration?
I'm going to count how many questions have when in them. I would say 99% of the questions. No, I'm exaggerating. Look, we're going through all the perks and all the benefits and kind of releasing them as they come. I cannot give you a specific date or time for them, because part of the problem is that everything that involves granting some of these benefits involves validating, who gets it, which wallet gets it, and making sure the data is accurate, and that takes time. So we are going to be very methodical about it, and also preview I really like the early bird spreadsheet we shared because the community caught a few mistakes. We didn't see it. I like that because that's the intent of it, right? So I would rather have the data validated by the community before than try and solve the problem after. So I think we'll do the same thing with all of these. We'll publish a sheet and say, hey, these are the accounts that are due for something. Look at it, and if you think it's different, then let us know. So we'll do that, we'll validate, and then we'll publish. We'll do the actual drop. All right. What else you got?
I got from you, ma'am. Are we going to add more tasks to the airdrop campaign?
Yes, we will, but we want the current tasks to kind of run their course for a little bit. So we will eventually, I mean, that is the intent. The airdrop application has been architected with a lot of flexibility like that. We can add a task, we can add points as we go. So it is going to be a long-standing app, and we'll have multiple airdrops. We'll do that. But this one right now is stable and good, and we want to make sure that we don't mess with the stability of the app at the moment.
Choosing right, grab that one. I knew the answer.
Yeah.
So this is a crypto link related. Since our Vitruveo is backed in USDT, does that affect our trading at all?
It doesn't at all, because that is happening on a centralized exchange, and yeah, it shouldn't affect it. Now, like any other thing, there's always arbitrage between dexes and sexes, and that's going to be an opportunity that exists. But other than that, I don't see any impact.
Okay. And I think this user is correct. With the creator credits, it should be 15 creator credits, not 10.
$10, 15 credits. Did I say 10? I'm sorry if I
yeah,
said that.
well, you did. So they're
I misspoke then. Yes, yeah, it's $150 US. So it's $10 each and 15. Yes.
Have we made any decision on airdrop points to Vitruveo and how much?
No, but we have a general sense of how many coins are available. But I'd rather wait and see as we get closer to sort of the airdrop, because we need to look at how the data is skewed, right? Like if it's heavily skewed towards a very small number of users, then it makes sense for us to segment that airdrop. So without going into too much detail, I want to make sure that the airdrop is fair for everybody, not just whales, so we're mindful of that. So let's wait until we are closer to that time. We'll analyze the data and let the data do the decision making for us.
Hi, Nick. Do you already know when you will implement the option to change the UXISAC wallet address to a new wallet? Because the 5% pro rata new token airdrop when staked. Thanks for the hard work.
Yeah. So the way that's going to be implemented is once we have that option going, you will see basically all of these capabilities, features will end up in scope, where if you're eligible for something and it's not NFT driven, you will have the option to go sign in with the original wallet that has the benefit and change and essentially delegate it to a different wallet and save it. So my inclination is to do everything with NFTs as much as possible, because then it makes it super easy. Transfer the NFT and you're done, right? So there's a good chance we might also do that benefit as a new NFT. And the core NFT is a very flexible application. We can create as many classes as we want. So we might do that also. So the answer to the question is, initially, when the account that you used would be the controlling account, but you can then change it via an app or an NFT, undecided at the moment. That will allow you to change it to a different wallet.
Sounds good. All right, so we got a few more.
All right.
Any update on the Dream Fund?
Yes. The Dream Fund is ready to go. Alex would like us to have the vote yesterday. I held back because I really feel that the vote credits that are now in everyone's core NFTs, Dream Fund is a great way to exercise its first use, which means we have to build that voting app. So I've been telling people will get it done, but other priorities come in the way. So it's possible that we might pull the trigger and basically go with the Dream Fund voting directly, and not use the vote credits. Just do a general community vote on that. So here's the thing. Let's just say that by next Friday would be our drop dead date. We would have a decision made and activate the Dream Fund, because there are some projects that are time sensitive and we want to distribute those funds. So give it a week and we'll have finalized that.
Okay. We got. So I think this user is just clarifying our whole crypto link thing. So with USDC, we can use Polygon network till we have direct USDC with Circle.
Yeah, I mean, basically the way it works is we will have an app where you connect your wallet to Polygon. You have USDC there, and you click bridge. And what it does is it locks in your USDC on Polygon, and it makes it available here on Vitruveo. And it's Circle's decision when that can be made native. In which case, what they do is they take over ownership of those contracts, and so then you don't have to do that things anymore. So that's basically the workflow. We'll have an app for you in the swap. We'll have a page for you in the swap app where you can do this easily.
Bring your own USDC. All right. Any update on Honcho?
Yeah, I think ePlace is gearing up to do a release of it next week. So
Yeah.
that's the best intelligence I have on that at the moment.
That's what I hear too. Okay. Let's see what's left. Do collector credits have to be used for Genesis artists, or can we hold for the
To
future?
buy.
To buy, yeah,
To buy.
to buy.
This is a good question. I think I think you can probably hold. We did make a commitment to the Genesis artists that their artwork would be purchased, but it doesn't have to be via collector credits. We can have other means to do that. So let me confer with Fur on that and make a decision.
And we have a lot. We have a lot of creative collector credits. So
yeah. So I feel like 1,000 artists multiplied by 150, but we have a way more collector credits. So I'm gonna say as I think the Genesis artists artworks need to be taken care of first, and after that they're available for other use. So yes, but the numbers work out, right? The numbers are basically overwhelmingly going to be where there is excess collector credits. So I think I would say 99% yes.
okay. Someone's reporting that the points on the dashboard and leaderboard are different.
Yes. So we did a reconciliation job service, if you will, last night, because there were a few users. I would say 0.01% or whatever, where the data didn't check out, and so we updated for them. So we're gonna make sure we analyze the data again, and the numbers are all deterministic, right? Like they're unambiguous. So we'll run batch process and make sure that they're all accurate. In my opinion, they already are after last night's job, but it's possible that we might have missed a few, but we will make sure that they are.
Okay. Let's see. Let's scroll up a little bit, make sure. We had some validators that are pretty interested.
Oh, this is for the any to
Yeah,
any.
yeah, the crypto link for the any to any.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
oh, yeah,
there's going to be opportunities for validators on that. We're going to want to run our own IPFS network. There's going to be opportunities there. So I think on the any to any, we don't know what the limit is, but I think as Cletus was explaining, there's tiers of them, right? So there's tier 1 and tier 2 and so on and so forth. So I know about as much about that as you do at this point. So we'll need to dig into that some more. What I do know is that we want that any to any product. So
yeah,
we're gonna
the UI is
make it happen.
clean,
Yeah.
bridge to all those different blockchains. It'll be super nice and convenient for anybody.
Yeah. Have you run
All
out of
right.
questions?
I think we're out.
I see this one here. Did
Oh.
we didn't talk this one, right? So there's
Oh,
an issue on Scope DApp showing 100% granted and vesting per month calculated based on 100%, even if the user only swapped into less than 100% of their Vitruveo. Please. All right. So one of the challenges is when there's a generic report like this, there's no opportunity for us to actually dig into the data and find out. So Joe, if you wouldn't mind, maybe tag me and give a specific account, an address that we can go look at to investigate what's happening there. I would ask everyone for this. If you are reporting a problem, you can't just report the problem. You have to give data so someone else can reproduce the problem. That's the standard that everyone needs to adhere to always, is if someone else cannot look at what you've posted and reproduce the problem themselves, there is zero chance the issue is going to be solved. If you want the issue to be solved, make sure it is reproducible. So you need to provide all the data that they need so they can recreate the problem. So please do provide that information, like an account, and we'll take a look at it. Thank you.
504 today. That's what we're at. Didn't get to 590.
All right. So another busy weekend ahead. Airdrops to do, prepare for New York, etc. A lot of work going on. I'm excited, but I'm really, really excited about the momentum we have on the airdrop campaign right now. It's great to see. It's great to see the users hop in and our numbers going up, and it's so much fun. I just like to sit and watch that, So it's
NFT and NYC will be good for you guys. That's a really fun conference. I've been a couple times. A lot of good events. A lot of people who want to network. It'll be a good time for you guys. I'm kind of sad I'm not going.
All right. So I guess next Friday I'm still in New York, so I'll have to do this from my hotel room.
Do it from the street.
Do it from the street. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe live from the street. Maybe I'll do a live from the street segment, or something like that.
Be fun.
Where,
Be fun.
like in those shows where they start on the street and then work their way up to the elevator and all that and go to the room. That'd be crazy.
We'll figure it out this week.
All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone. Have a good a weekend. A happy Easter to all of those celebrating. I'll catch you on Discord, catch you online. See you and have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.